Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor.
Law firms will take this as a retainer.
What? It must be a law firm where they hungry as hell. Now you gonna help me with this parole I'm dealing with?
Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor. With one taste of our premium blends of all-natural ingredients, herbs, and spices, you'll fall in love with meat all over again. Judge Joe Brown's all-natural barbecue sauce collection is made up of 2 zesty flavors, original and spicy. There's only one way to bring order back to barbecuing. Just add Judge Joe Brown's all-natural barbecue sauce and seasoning, and you be the judge.
Hi guys, testing 1 2 3. How's everybody? Good evening. So I'm just waiting for the judge to come up. I'm waiting for the judge to come on. Dana, can you please ask Judge Brown, is it possible for Obama to be Biden's VP? That's a good question. Never thought of that. I don't think so, but I don't know. So I will definitely ask him. Hi to Houston in the end, Godwins, Peter from Australia. Yes, Star, I see you. And I wanted to highlight this person here. I was going to say hello, but I can't spell your name because it's in Arabic. So hello to you. Hello. All right, please share this video. Please hit the like button. Couple announcements, just waiting for the judge to come up. It takes him a minute. We all know this. He has the Pony Express, the Pony Wi-Fi, right? We also have a special guest from the Fulton County area out of Georgia. Yes, we are still talking about every show. I'm going to be talking about Fulton County. I'm going to be talking about Fani Willis. I'm going to be talking about the Rico Georgia case, election case. So yeah, but I have a guest coming up. His name is Star, and that is his real name, named after his father. And he's going to talk about his experience in the Fulton County jail system, because we spoke about this a couple shows back, and I actually put up a clip of that, how the ACLU has picked up the case of the inmates suing the county, right, for not issuing them bail and just basically violating their constitutional rights. So we actually have a former inmate of Fulton County Jail coming on the show. I'm gonna bring him up as soon as the judge come on. So yeah, so we still smoking on that fanny pack. I did say the whole month of March, and this is April 1st. April Fool's Day, everybody. But that case, I'm gonna stop talking about her when the case is done, right? And what else? I want to mention, of course, Easter was yesterday, so happy Easter, Christ is King to everybody. Hope you had a wonderful Sunday and spend time with family. But a lot of people were upset because Joe Biden issued a proclamation that March 31st is Transgender Visibility Day. But there's a twist to that. But it just so happened, this is not the first time. Well, apparently this administration has issued March 31st as Transgender Visibility Day. It just so happened that March 31st falls on Easter Sunday this year in 2024, right? But a lot of people was upset because they're looking at his administration as doing this intentionally, right? And this is a government. Yes, I do not trust the government. And, they probably picked this date 2 years ago, knowing that eventually 2 years forward, like this year, 2024, that it was going to land on a Sunday, right? Which is Easter Sunday. So what are you trying to tell us, right? What are you trying to tell us? So yeah, so that's the main topic, but that's going to be for later. And then I do want to highlight, I put in the title, I think it's still there. Is it? Because I know I changed it. Yes, OMB classification. That's the Office of Management and Budget. They just issued a new classification for the census called MENA, Middle Eastern and North Africa. So they got their own separate box. And management and budget is about money. And the census is about allocating money and resources to a particular group in particular, whatever community or city or society, right? And Black Americans are upset because we don't have our own separate box. And all on Twitter Space this past weekend and towards the end of last week, they've been talking about OMB. And I had to educate myself on it briefly, right? So I want to bring that up tonight and talk about that with the judge whenever he gets up here. I don't want to call him because I'm going to knock him off because, he's probably trying to log on. It takes him a minute. So, yeah. Tomorrow, and then I may bring up today reparations in California, right? Because it kind of ties into the LGBTQ conversation we're going to have later. But tomorrow on X Space, every Tuesday, Judge Joe Brown, he hosts his X Space. I set it up and I'm more like a moderator there, but it's his X Space. And actually, let me put this down here. So his Twitter address is scrolling across the screen below. That's at Judge Joe Brown TV on Twitter, on X. And probably tomorrow evening, we are going to talk about the California Reparations Taskforce. And let me just say this off the rip. I'm against that task force. And I wasn't for so long. I was championing it. But it came to my attention that they included LGBTQA+ in the reparation package, right? In their data, in their study. And me personally, when you do that, when you include outside group into a specific group, that is a problem. Because now we're talking about restitution, reparations. That is about money. That is about political power, political access. It's money and power here in this country. And that group, which is nothing wrong with the group, they are very organized. They deserve their reparations and restitutions, which they did receive in the state of California, the LGBTQAI+ community. They deserve their reparations and restitution. Well, more like restitution. So, however, you are not a part of, Black Americans, whether you want to call yourself FBA, ADOS, or Black Freedmen's, but you're not a part of that. Your sexuality is not a part of a lineage. But if you are a Black man, whether you are gay or not, lesbian or not, transgender or not, if you are Black and you are of Black American lineage, you are automatically part of the reparations and restitution. So it's a big question mark when you specifically add that group in there. I wasn't going to do a show tonight because it's still kind of holiday-ish this Monday, the day after Easter. But I said, you know what? No, I need to stick to the schedule. And oh no, he did say he got it. Okay, he did get the link. So like I said, we're just waiting for the judge to come up. And let me text him to see, are you logging on now? Last week he was up here, boom, so quick. And sometimes it just takes some longer, takes some forever. But let me get to some of the comments. Oh, and I will be opening up the phone lines. We're going to take calls for 1 hour like we did last week, Thursday, and every live show. That's what I'm going to do. I want reparations against the Democrat Party. The phone lines. So I edited out the phone lines last week and I uploaded it on the website. So go to the website, therealdananetwork.com. they deserve reparations for a lifestyle. No, LGBTQ people, they have received restitution because they were literally discriminated against, whether it's for life insurance, employment. So there were a lot of discrimination against that group. And when we're talking about the AIDS epidemic, you know, medicine being withheld, a lot of experimenting on them, right? Because that their population was heavily impacted. So it was a lot of discrimination and inequality and injustices that group received. But they did get reparations / restitution in the state of California. And they continue to. And I believe they got something on the federal level, but it's just called something different. Trump, Vivek, turn the dogs loose on Vivek. Let's go. Okay. Happy new Black Media Appreciation Month. Keeping it real talk, real actions. Thank you, D. Joel. Is that a new thing? Black Media Appreciation Month? I never heard of that. Greetings, Reggie. Okay, Rick. So you on News Total? Yeah, I wanted to hop in, hop out real quick because I had to start and do this show. Yeah. Big up Dana. Thank you. Stay. Lulu says RIP heavily birthday 2008 to 21 to my beloved dog Chunk. Okay. No religious Easter eggs at the White House Easter egg roll as well. Yes. What was that about? Why would they eliminate the religious Easter egg? Because Easter is it's Christianity. Muslims don't celebrate Easter. Hindus don't celebrate Easter. So if you're going to have an Easter egg hunt, which is, you know, a Christian holiday, why not have a Christian religious Easter egg? What was that about? See, the BS. California are actually getting dollars from reparations. Actually, they're not getting no reparations because the governor hasn't signed anything. That bill or that legislation for reparations has not passed. And most likely it probably won't pass. And honestly, I don't live in California, so I don't have a say-so in it, but I don't give them support anymore. Absolutely not. Now, in that package, it is cash payments. Will it be for every Black American? I don't know. But the legislation is not signed. I don't even think it passed the state house yet. So yeah, but they do have cash payments in that package. What's the name of the opening music? Actually, I don't know because I got it off of CapCut. That's the editing software that I use. So I was just playing with the different musics that I think that sound good. And that came up. All right, guys, and the judge is here. Hi, how are you?
Hey, we have a little difficulty here. I'm coming in under some weird kind of status on this thing that hasn't happened. Usually when I go in and I put it up, I come up, I got the guest name me in there. This time I had to go through all kinds of changes to get it in there. I don't know what that is.
Really? Why do you have on a fisherman hat?
It's not a fisherman's hat. See my shades?
Oh, it's your shades. Okay. What kind of shades are those? I like those shades.
Well, I wear them sometimes, you know, to cut down the glare.
Well, what name brand is it?
Oh, God. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Honey, I want to know because I could borrow those shades. And if you can hear me, I know what I was saying. I know my elbow's not ashy. If you can hear me, I want to borrow. Star, I'm about to come to you. So yeah, put your camera on. If you can hear me, Judge, I want to borrow your chinchilla cowboy hat.
My Stetson.
Yes, because I told you I bought a Stetson and a Bailey, but you got chinchilla on yours, honey. So I want to borrow.
Not on it. It's chinchilla felt. They cut the hair off of a chinchilla.
Okay, well, I want to borrow.
It's called Decot. DECOT. That's the name of the shade.
I don't care. I want to borrow it.
The shades.
Oh, the shades of Deco?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you
But I
can
still
pull
want to
'em
borrow
out.
the chinchilla cowboy
Yeah,
hat.
it's a chili hat they made up in Canada, and you can wear them when you're boating or out in the field. See, they got this strap that keeps the sweat. And
Okay.
the wind will blow them back there. I've worn them on a boat, and the wind will blow down there, so you get them larger,
Oh.
and the air circulates over your head, keeps you cooler than if you don't have the hat on. Plus, you get sunblock.
All right. Well, I want to bring up our first guest. His name is Star. That is his real name, named after his father. And he was recently released from the Fulton County Jail, and he wants to talk about his experience there. So,
Let's
hi,
have
Star.
it.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I can't complain. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Okay. So we spoke earlier. So this is Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown. This is Mr. Star.
How you
All
doing?
right.
We spoke earlier,
Mhm.
and I said, listen, tell us your story under 5 minutes, straight to the facts, because me and the judge, basically the judge, have been running down the whole Fani Willis crisis, and then what came out of that was all of the corruption that's going on in Fulton County, and eventually I do want to expand it throughout other counties and cities throughout this nation. However, what we discovered was a lot of corruption going on in Fulton County, particularly with the jail system, right?
Absolutely.
You
Mhm.
were arrested, you were released, but you wanted to come on to share your story. And I also said, when you share your story, make it no more than 5 minutes with straight facts. And of course, the judge will ask you questions if to fill in for more information. Let me just tell the audience, guys, please hit the like button video. And if you would like to donate, hit the super chat. All right. So introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and go into your story.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
I'm
I'm Star, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And to go ahead and get to the point, what I wanted to do was last year in December, I was arrested, Fulton County Jail, and they put me back through the system again. So to go ahead and sum it up is, I couldn't understand why I kept going through the system. But this time I understood why, which is because there's a lot of brothers in there that need help. The problem don't lie in the courtroom. That's part of the problem. But it starts with the jail. Okay. So once I got locked up in December of last year, I went through the process again. And what Fulton County do is they lock brothers up. They put you, I was on the 5th floor, 5 North, where most of the stabbing go on. They put you in the system, and then they forget about you. They put these charges on you to where you can't get a bond, or they deny your bond, and then they forget about you. And so this time when I got out of Fulton County, I said, you know what? Awareness needs to be brought to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I was locked up. I went through the system. I was put on the 5th floor where I seen all the stabbing. I seen all the overdose. Everything that people want to know about pertaining to Fulton County, they trying to come at Fani Willis and say, well, the district attorney office. But the real truth lies in Fulton County Jail before it even make it to the district attorney's office. And so that's why I'm here, is to bring awareness to the things that we going through, the mistreatment, the civil rights violations that we go through in Fulton County Jail before we even get out there in court, which you might not even get that for years.
Well, how long did you stay in jail, and were you indicted?
I was never indicted. To this day, I haven't been indicted.
How long were you in jail?
This time I was in jail a little, almost 100 and something days.
Well, the law requires that the district attorney report to the courts appropriately anyone who's been held in jail for more than 45 days without being indicted. So that's on the AG's office that was supposed to have reported you, which is why you got stalled out. You hadn't been indicted. You'd merely been arrested on a warrant, and you were in there for that period of time, which is way over the 45-day limit. And the law in Georgia sets the responsibility for seeing to that with the AG's office. That's why we're getting on her. That's not the jail's job. That's her job.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so with what you talking, going back to what you talking about, what they did was they changed it to OCGA 7-5-50, I believe it's the code, to where if you've been indicted 90 days, they got to give you a bond if you ain't been indicted by the grand jury. That's what they put in place.
45 days, it's up to the district attorney and the district wherein the offense was allegedly committed to notify an appropriate court, usually the administrative law judge, when anybody has been in there more than 45 days, not indicted.
Absolutely. But okay, so when Ms. Willis came in office in 2021, it was right during the COVID era.
Doesn't make any difference. Nobody cares about whether there's a disease going on.
You're absolutely right.
Going to lock somebody up in a COVID contaminated situation, process them so they don't stay there. So we're concerned about the $7.5 million that got appropriated to her office for purposes of expediting prosecutions to reduce backlogs of people who had been in there a while without being processed,
right?
Staying locked up. That's not right. Public,
it's not right.
And speedy trial before a jury, constitutional right, Bill of Rights.
Absolutely. But see what happened with that, and I'm just talking to you, Mr. Judge O'Brien, from the inside of Fulton County. When the COVID hit and they started doing the delays on going to court, that's when they put the 90-day thing into position. Now, when I was able to get in the courtroom in front of the district attorney and they seen what my case was, they think would let them out. They would.
Well, didn't you get a chance to be arraigned and get an attorney appointed to represent you?
Okay, so when they locked me up in December, and I went for my first appearance. Okay, so what they do is they say, well, this is a magistrate court as opposed to a superior court situation. They send you over to superior court, they buy the time. So when I got locked up and I went to my first appearance, I had a public defender, which they denied the bond. Then the public defender I got on the second one, which I normally would hire an attorney, but let me just tell you what's going on. The public defender I got on
the public defenders are the best lawyers you can get.
She's really good. And she went in there and she told the judge who stepped in for another judge, she told him what happened and things of that nature. They still denied my bond. This was in December of last year. When I was able to get back in the courtroom this year in March, the district attorney with a fair judge heard what was going on and said, you know what? That's not right.
Okay, so what happened? Are the charges still pending or have they been dropped?
They haven't been dropped, but they gave me a bond, a very low bond, considering what they was trying to say initially. And the district attorney, the assistant district attorney, I forgot his first name, last name right. He said that we don't know why this case hasn't been indicted. And I still ain't been indicted.
You did mention to me, you said that Fulton County, they have up until 3 years to issue an indictment.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They got 45 days by the state law. And I don't know what the hell they're doing in Fulton County about complying with the state law. So
they tell you they got 3 years to indict you on the case. I'm out on bond and I haven't been indicted, nor do I have a court date. And I said in since December last year, going on 4 months.
What are you standing charged with, at least on the arrest warrant?
Okay, so on the arrest warrant, to be honest with you, they charged me with aggravated assault. Okay, but aggravated
don't discuss
assault,
the case, but you got charged with felony aggravated assault. All right. So when did this initial arrest supposedly occur? What year? What day? What?
December 7th, 2023.
Okay, December 7th, 2023.
Yes, sir.
All right. I thought you'd been locked up for how many days?
Over 100. So that was last year, December 23. December 7th, 2023. I didn't get out to this year on March 16th, 2024.
Okay. All right.
So now you don't have you have not been indicted. You don't have a court date, so you're just waiting. And you were told that Fulton County is allowed within 3 years to indict somebody.
Yeah, they got 3 years to go and
So
indict.
you're supposed to hang around waiting for 3 years.
For 3 years.
As to whether or not anybody's grand jury moves on this.
And see, and what I want to explain to you, Mr. Judge Joe Brown and Ms. Diane, is when they put these charges on, I know when I say aggravated assault, it sounds.
And look, I've been doing it for 57 years.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right.
They make it sound harsh. So when you go to your first appearance, the judge say, well, look, I'm a magistrate judge. This has to be handled in superior court. Now, your day for superior court may be months later. And like I was telling you, Ms. Diana, with my situation, as it went going on my next court date, they hit Fani Willis with the hearing stuff, and the system was kidnapped. Was hijacked, and we were held hostage.
Let me ask you this: if you had a preliminary hearing?
Yes, sir, I did, and I had my preliminary hearing December 28th, 2023. My public defender explained to them right then, this is not that situation. We got videotape. A man came.
Don't go into the case. You have the Fifth Amendment right, and don't do what Fani Willis did: run her big mouth off or run yours off and incriminate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, all right. So the cyber attack, we missed this. And Miss Pamela, honey, you ain't sent me an article on that, but Fulton County, they had a cyber attack. It's not funny. Did you hear about this, Josh, to where it was a hacker and it was asking for a ransom of $10 million?
No, they wanted $150 million.
So they went in there, they attacked the court system, a cyber attack, and they were actually threatening for a ransom, but they didn't pay the terrorists. They didn't pay them the ransom. So how long did it take for the system to get back up?
I got out March 16th, and that Wednesday, when my family talked to the clerk of courts of Fulton County, their system was just getting back up running. I was supposed to have been released from jail, went to court. But because of the system hack, I didn't go to court, just like a lot of other people. We didn't go to court. Families couldn't find us in the system. That was going on for months.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this up real quick, just for point of reference. Fulton County continues restoring services after Lockbit cyber attack. Several systems in Fulton County are back up and running after a recent cyber attack shut down many of the county operations. The ransomware syndicate Lockbit took credit for the cyber attack in late January that temporarily crippled government services in Fulton County, which includes most of Atlanta. The group demanded payment, threatening to dump data online, including residents' personal information. It also claimed to have stolen records related to the county's pending criminal case against former President Donald Trump.
Yep.
So,
you know what? This is like kids not having to learn math or multiplication tables because they have cell phones. They don't have to learn to write because they use cell phones. You see, it goes down. It's always better to have a paper trail on anything. That's the problem with the election machines. No paper trail, no way of tracking what's supposed to be going on for real, rather than what's shown in cyberspace, which is not a reality except as it's told to mimic reality by somebody's programming. So this is a very incautious thing to do, to depend upon everything in cyberspace rather than something that's in hard, cold print where you can actually go physically lay hands and fingers on it and scroll through it and take a look at it.
I want to.
Well, yeah, all right. So you were got arrested in December.
Yes, sir.
You have 3 years to be indicted after having a preliminary hearing, and you've been in custody for 120 days, not 45.
Yeah, way past 45.
Yeah, with no indictment. So nobody moved to get you indicted. See, that thing you're talking about, 3 years, that somebody's out, but you've already run over the 45-day limit. Twice,
Right.
it's 90 days, and then another, that's almost
Yeah.
3 times the limit. I'm not trying to be knowledgeable of Georgia law, but there is this thing called due process of law. So just question,
Absolutely.
as your public defender raised that as a defense and filed anything relative to a claim to dismiss the charges against you at this point in time?
No, sir. What she did was okay, so when we went to court, I had a court date for February 27th, but like I said, because they had the system held hostage, nobody was going on their day. So I ended up going to court about a week later. When we got into court, we didn't even go in the courtroom. I went to like the next pod and they did it on the Zoom thing. So when the judge, I can't remember her name right now, when she came on the screen, we did a Zoom thing. My public defender said then, ma'am, this is not a convicted felon. This brother, what happened, she told him what happened. She said, we got the videotape. The district attorney, the assistant district attorney, Mr. Wright, he came on the screen. He said, Your Honor, we don't see this case being indicted. We don't know why it's here at this point. The judge told my public defender then, she said, well, because my public defender had asked for me to get a bond. I've been sitting in here almost 4 months. All I'm trying to do is get my day in court. So my public defender had asked, well, look, let's at least give him a bond. So when the assistant district attorney said what he said, Judge Manning said, well, how you want to do it? My public defender said, we'll give him $10,000 on the aggravated assault, $5,000 on the other charge, $15,000 bond.
So you're on a $15,000 bond?
Yes.
All right. Now, here's one danger. If the charges are dismissed summarily and they've got 3 years to return an indictment on something like that, that doesn't necessarily run the statute of limitations. It may be somewhat longer on the offense, but if you get the charges dismissed, you need to check with your counsel to make sure that you don't run into a situation where they can later on submit it to a grand jury and get an indictment, and then you have to post another bond. So there's all kinds of difficulties here that you could find yourself in as a result of the technical aspects of the timings and such like. Very clumsy.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring up, you mentioned denied bail and mandatory days wait. So there are a lot of people who are denied bail, and if it's when like the judge said, it's supposed to be 45 days. Fulton County said now they're going to issue it 90 days. But you were in there at 100, basically 100 days.
Over 100 days, yes, ma'am.
Right. So, and there are a lot of people who are denied bail. And then I want to talk to the conditions that are going on in Fulton County Jail, because that made the news several times last year, but you were actually in there. So, basically you were saying it's basically a shithole. It's no man's land. It's basically no man's land, So can you briefly speak to what is going on inside?
Okay, so inside Fulton County Jail, once you get to the floor that at one point I was on the 5th floor. And so I was on 5 North. So it only used to be the 5th and 6th. 7th floor is outrageous. So to get to the point, when I was just in I seen a light, they got everybody mixed up. Everybody mixed up. You may come in you may be a mental health patient. They came in because you got caught up in mental health stuff in the street. They put you into this system where you got the gang members, the RICO, you know what I'm saying? Now you caught up you caught up crabs in a barrel. You know what I'm saying? You might be this, and this, but now everybody is in here. My brother like me, I know I'm not going to court for months. the next brother know he not going to court, period. The next brother know what he facing. So now you got everybody here. So now you seeing where the violence is outrageous. The violence gets out of hand because guess what? I don't know when I'm going to court. I don't know when I'm going to court. So now I'm mad. I'm on the phone. I miss my kids. I'm arguing with my baby mom. You know what I'm saying? The next man, you got to be affiliated, if you understand what I'm saying, to even sustain on these floors. You got to be affiliated.
So what happens? So could you dig me an example? Somebody that coming in with a mental health issue that are on medication, but because you just mixed up with everybody, their medication gets stolen. They get and then you have the correction officers bringing in certain types of drugs, and it's like this.
Okay.
And it's and they're selling the drugs, and then you have inmates who are buying the drugs, but then they're not paying for it, and they're being hog-tied up in a cell somewhere. So It's just anarchy.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so when they put the mental health people in the dorm, they not mental enough to sustain. So the first thing you got is the gang members and the other people pushing up on them. You know what I'm saying? We won't wait. You got coming in because we gonna sleep off of it, we gonna sell it, we gonna make some money. So now you got the mental health patients who can't sustain on these floors. That's getting put out the cell. First of all, none of the doors on the cells work. Period. You in the jail, it don't work. You can open this man's cell, go in there and woo anything you want to. So you got that going on with the mental health people. You know, we want the medication. We're gonna sell it. Mostly it's the ones who getting the sleeping medications. They can't sustain in there on the 5th and 6th and 7th floor. But because the system is so combobulated, I guess I want to say, or deep, whatever,
disorganized,
congested, they just anywhere. Then when you talking about going to the people that tied up, you got these brothers who it's all about function and money and so now you got this stuff. When they tell y'all about they can't tell you about the death, what it called, the deaths, then undetermined deaths, whatever. It's coming from what they call strips. Okay, strips is in the jail, and that's where people are smoking. It busts your heart, it blow your brain, it overdoses you. Okay. Huh?
What is it?
It's called strips.
What is it?
Now some of it got fentanyl in it. It come on paper, and you can tear it down to little balls of paper. But some of it got fentanyl, some of it got K2, some of it got it's all kind of chemicals that they make, and the officers don't bring it in. Some of it get flown in from the drone. They'll bust out the window and fly it in. But a lot of times the officers bring it in.
So they got literally drones. They're able to. The inmates are able to bust out the windows to collect any type of contraband from a.
Yes.
Really?
And listen, you can burn the window out. It ain't that you can do that unrecognized. It's just that it's not enough officers there and people who care enough to, you feel me, to get involved. They're like, man, look, this ain't even my flow.
But if they were to get involved, they would probably get hurt themselves.
That or get paid. One of the two.
So what is the sheriff and so judge is this is under the DA watch?
I'm just listening to absolute incompetence in the way the whole system's being run in Fulton County. It's embarrassingly awful, and I can see why, because the person that's supposed to be in charge of that, there are two people: the sheriff, who's a constitutional officer, and the district attorney, a constitutional officer. So between the two of them, they're just incompetent to do the jobs that they got elected to fulfill. They can't run it. It's a shithole, and they need to be held responsible. Meanwhile, I don't know what the hell the sheriff's doing, but the DA is running around trying to make a national name for herself to rid the world of Donald Trump instead of dealing with what's going on in her district. Very interesting. And I saw what most of the problem was about when she took the stand and testified. That was one of the most dumbass dumb crook moves I've ever seen in my life. In fact, that takes the prize.
And I'm pretty sure you wasn't in Fulton County when this happened, but I'm pretty sure you heard of it, about the inmate who died of the bed bugs. That was in the same jail in Fulton County.
Yes, that was the same jail.
Okay. So
I don't. Okay, again, they go back to me telling y'all about how people be tied up. It's very easy to be missed. You feel me? And now I don't know his situation, but it's very easy to be tied up in Fulton County because you owe this money, and the guards just miss you. So it's not impossible.
I see what you. But if you're crying out for help, but I guess a lot of people concerns just fall on deaf ears. So
it's a no man's land. The guards don't want to go down in there.
They not coming in there because the guards don't want. They don't want. You got to think. I don't know. I can't tell you how much a guard get paid, but it don't add up to what they get paid to deal with the stuff that go on in Fulton County Jail.
Now, Judge, can't the feds or the state bring in like National Guards or extra help or investigate Fulton County jail system?
Wouldn't hurt. Also, when's your next election for district attorney and sheriff?
This year, they got this.
Turn that out. They don't need to be in the office. They're incompetent. They can't handle it.
It's a lady, Kurt Beasley, I believe that's her name. She's running against Patrick Labatt, who is the sheriff of Fulton County. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
That's right.
Well, yeah. Who's running against me?
Pink was talking about Labatt. He's corrupt as well. There's a lot of corruption. So I want to thank you for sharing your story. Do you have any social media outlets where people could follow you, or you on X?
Y'all just, I'm Star,
Okay, so you're working, you're being a productive citizen, and you just waiting for your court date to have all this behind you.
I just want to bring awareness to the brothers that I was in there with. And like I said, man, the people are being mistreated in Fulton County, and the real problem lies within the jail. They don't want y'all to know what's going on in the jail. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I be able to get in the courtroom and get in front of the district attorneys and the judges, the fair ones, they fair. They like.
But you're not going to be rotating around on a various number of judges. If you get indicted, what's going to happen is your case is going to be assigned to a court. You'll stay there.
Yep.
Hopefully you'll get a good judge. Hopefully your defense counsel will be inspired. Hopefully the prosecution will be on their job so justice is done.
Now, one last question I want to ask you while he's here, Judge. Clearly, there are inmates' constitutional rights being violated.
Yes, ma'am.
I would say, considering the anarchy that is going on in the jail system, because if you're an inmate, you still have rights, right, Judge?
Yes, of course.
So then because I know we talked last week, the ACLU is taking up inmates' cases in Fulton County Jail to sue the county. Outside of that, is there anything else that people can do or to start changing what is going on in there?
People outside the jail can vote appropriately. Pay attention to who you're electing to run these things.
Absolutely. We have to vote. That's what Commissioner Chairman Mr. Rob Pitts was saying. We have to get out and vote. We can't continue to put these same people in position, and then when we find ourselves, I turned 41. You see, I don't want my children coming up through the same misconduct, the same, injustice. It's the justice system,
And it's not about, okay, these people are innocent, but it's the fact is that, listen, everybody deserves their fair day in court. So,
yes, ma'am.
Well, you guys are pre-trial detention, so you're presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So you're just in there, a lot of you in there waiting on proceedings that seem to be inexorably delayed and for no apparent reason.
Right. You're right. You're right, Mr. Judge.
So thank you, Star. So listen,
Thank you.
any last words before I let you go? Anything else you want to say?
I just want to thank you guys for having me, you know, and trying to help to bring awareness. And y'all just don't give up on it. You know, Fulton County and the brothers that's locked up. And it may not just be in Fulton County, it may be a situation that's going on in a plethora of places. But if you got loved ones that are incarcerated and that you can help, please help them, because you just never know what they're going through. Thank you, Miss Dana. Thank you, Mr. Judge Joe Brown. Thank you.
Judge will do. You don't have to put the Mr. in front of it. That's like Mr. Doctor.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But thank you, Judge Joe Brown. But I just try to be respectful as I can.
Well, I know, but I got it is Judge. I got this certificate somewhere around here from the state.
Yes, sir.
It says, henceforth and forever, you may use the title an honorific judge at all times.
Yes, sir.
Of the Tennessee state government, signed by whoever was the governor at the time. I forget who.
But
Yes,
so
sir.
again, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, because you didn't have to. You know, you're home, you're working, you're a father, right? You said you're a father.
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely am. Yes.
So, and I hope, and I'm pretty sure everything is going to work out the best for you. So, you know, and yeah, and if you are, keep your public defender. You know, I think that because she's been on your case, and if she's good, definitely keep her on, and hopefully you get a court date soon so you could put all this behind you. But I appreciate you even bringing up the fact that, yeah, if people have loved ones in the prison system or jail system, to, you know, check in and help out, and, you know, don't forget them. So yeah,
just check on them. Just make sure that they mentally okay, because it get hard enough. And I'm talking about, it was a county jail, so you can only imagine the state penitentiaries and the prison system.
Right, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Listen, if any new developments in your situation come up, you always welcome to come on. Just hit me up and let me know.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, have a
good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Very nice man. Sent me an email, reached out to him. Very nice man. Yeah, well, I want to kind of stay on this Fani train for a minute.
I'm just looking at absolute incompetence. And when I saw that horrendous performance in court that woman put on, it was disgusting. It was disappointing. And it was, shall we say, cause for rage that the Democratic Party is trying to force that kind of garbage on the public as something that should be running the public's business. That was horrible, and this is horrible. The $7 million that came from the state was supposed to clear this up. The fact that people, because they're essentially lazy jackasses that run these public things as clerks, they can't keep paper records. They want everything on the computer, which is fraught with going down and everything else. I've had occasion to go down and assist lawyers trying to find records where there's something that happened 15 years ago, 21 years ago, 24 years ago, and it's relevant now in terms of inheritance situations. And there's no damn record of it because some clown decided to input what they thought was important on a computer system and throw the rest of the stuff away outside of the file jacket. So all of the necessary records are gone. It's happening all over the country. And how many damn times I can't even get the system in my house to work. You have problems too, and everybody does. So you want to depend upon these things to deal with no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, nor property without due process of law. In the Bill of Rights as it goes to the U.S. government, and in the 14th Amendment as it goes to state government. So something that important is supposed to be left up to the vicissitudes of an electronic system? No way. They can be hacked? No way. It's just an arrogant presumption that somebody is going to streamline stuff and save labor. And hell, you can't get them to do a damn thing anyway. You walk into a clerk's office and half the people don't even know what the rules are.
Right. Well, listen, and her debacle is taken. First of all, the Trump case, she just made that number one priority, and using federal funds that supposed to go to the Fulton County jail and just Fulton County period backlog cases and pushing it to investigate Trump. Now we have to deal with her debacle, for the past month and a half, 2 months. And last week when we talked about
called misappropriation of public funds.
Yes, misappropriation of public funds. Last week we talked about how it was a Democratic strategist basically telling her to shut up. She's talking too much. And the judge McAfee basically called her a liar in her ruling. He acknowledged her buffoonery.
And he called her a liar several times. He used the word mendacity, which means lie.
Right.
Polite way of saying lie. And then the other thing is he invited the defense to file for a gag order, which he indicates he'll grant. But interestingly enough, the defense is wise enough not to request it. So her dumb behind runs her big mouth off and makes the hole deeper. And it's like, okay, yeah.
So now you have her, after judge scolding her for playing race car, Fani Willis says she's talk about it anyway. They should talk about it anyway. So I'm going to play this clip.
Hard out here, always. And it's hard out here, always having to prove yourself 2 and 3 times. Recently, they tell me they don't like me to talk about race. Well, I'm going to talk about it anyway. Truth is, it's some challenges that come to being black. And I see so
being
much
a dumb black
in
person if you happen to be a dumb black person. That don't have anything to do with race. You're just dumb, Alpha. Didn't you go to law school? Didn't you get the clue? What's the matter with you?
Let me just play. It's only 39 seconds.
Leaders. And I appreciate all of the sacrifice that you witness in this city that has so many. Truth is, it's some challenges that come to being black. And I see so much greatness in this city that has so many great African-American leaders. And I appreciate all of the sacrifice that you all have had to make to be in these positions. So, Chief Meadows, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for having the intelligence to create an event like this where we recognize that you've had to go through a little more to serve.
All right, that was the end of that.
Okay, wait a minute. All of which may be true for, what is it, the chief? What's that got to do with not being put in a bad compromised position, but putting your own dumb self in a compromised position, and then compound it by obstinately charging full speed ahead into a worse position, like you didn't go to law school and you don't have any common sense to begin with. Any fool would know not to do what she did, and she tries to compound it by saying, it's because I'm black. Oh, yeah, I'm insulted.
Yeah, we all should be insulted. And that's what I was saying before, to where, if you are in these positions, especially an officer of the law, of the court, all that.
Officer of the court, your race, your gender, it is blind. It does not count. You are not black. You are not a woman. You are officer of the court. And wait a minute. Where is the racism coming from if she's the one in charge?
Exactly.
Look. We get discriminated against. Black folk get done in. Yeah, but you're the black person in charge of everything that happens, including what happened to that guy in the jail. See, that's your job. You are in charge of that when you get elected to this position. What white person had anything to do with what you did because you failed to take care of your job?
Right. Somebody put in the chat, and I just Googled it myself. Oh, wasn't this?
Nope. Yeah, after that, that's an excuse. But yeah.
It was this. This was breaking news. This happened an hour ago. Trump posts $175 million bond in New York civil fraud case averts asset seizure. Trump will get back the money he has put up if he wins the case.
Okay, now let me tell you where this applies to all of you. They got to get him. He a criminal and all that. You know what? This is a precedent. If this Letitia fool gets away with this, you know what it is? Next time, homeowners, black, white, brown, red, yellow, purple, pink, whatever, I don't give a damn. You go in and you're trying to get a line of credit or a second mortgage, and you want to finance or refinance your home or something, do you think you're going to be stupid enough to take the lowest damn value you can assign or try to see how much you can get a bank to accept as an evaluation? What this damn fool did trying to get after Trump is blindly set up a series of precedents that say your typical homeowner, no matter what his race and ethnicity happens to be, is now subject to some goddamn fool like this coming in saying you overcharged, you overclaimed for your property, like the bank is not going to do an independent check of you. How many of you are familiar with manufacturer's suggested retail price? MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price. And then how often do you find the price in a store being less? So in other words, every time somebody makes something and they have a suggested retail price, which is the value they set on something, you are subject to being prosecuted if it doesn't match somebody's amateur assessment of what the actual on the shelf price of something ought to be. How many times you walk in a grocery store and they've got something on sale and they've dropped the price down, price reduction. So under her theory, you could go prosecute anybody who sold the product and put a suggested retail price on it. See, that's where it gets into being absolutely crazy. Plus, nobody got hurt. So who got hurt? Did the citizens? Well, he overcharged that. Well, if he wants to claim something is worth more than you think it is, then that means he can be assessed taxes at that rate, which means the public gets more in their tax coffers. You know, that's tax revenue. So who got hurt? Under the federal system, with similar laws, you have to show there's a victim. The entirety of this proof is completely lacking that there's a victim. Somehow or another, this, without having any demonstrated impact on the public, is supposed to be assumed to impact the public negatively. How? All Trump was doing is a more grandiose level of the homeowner coming in there and saying, I want to take out a second mortgage to open up a business. I've had this home 19 years and my equity is so on and so forth, and the home is worth so and so. And, you know, you can get this back and forth. You buy houses, you know, I've bought several, and sometimes I've had arguments with the bank where they say it's not worth that much. Oh, yes, it is. And you have to bring in alternative assessments and such like and appraisals to show, well, and they say, okay, we'll buy into it. Okay, we'll give you the financing on this. See, that's how you do business. So this woman says you're supposed to go in there, and it's like, you're not supposed to do any bargaining and you're not supposed to seek any advantage. Remember, this is a capitalistic society. Everybody's trying to seek an advantage. And if nobody's doing anything that is outright fraudulent, you know, there's nothing wrong with somebody trying to say this property is worth more. It's like you buy a house. What is it? You have an asking price, and somebody comes up with an alternative offer. So, no, we can't accept that. I'm not going to go that low. Well, we'll go up another. Okay, well, now you're coming on. We'll drop it a little bit. Well, we'll go up. That's the bargain. So people are not supposed to do that according to Letitia.
Yeah. You know, again, the focus is on Donald Trump and it's not on justice. You know, you're talking about Fani Willis, talking about Letitia James and others. They're focused on a man, which means you are not upholding the law. You're actually making it worse for us regular folk, you know.
Yeah, in other words, I don't like him, so I'm going to do everything to find some excuse to prosecute him. And they know good and damn well what they're doing. They don't expect a conviction to stick. They want an initial conviction on a lower court that may be set up with an inflamed jury where they've tampered with the jury pool, which happens quite often with the wrong kind of prosecutors. I've seen it and experienced it. And then they want to go in and say, well, we ruined him, we got him, and then the thing get reversed on appeal. Right now, example, concrete example, Wesley Snipes. He did not get found guilty of tax evasion. As a matter of fact, IRS had a refund check for him during sentencing of $250,000 because his taxes were overpaid. Well, what happened, and I was a witness in the proceedings, so I was there. What happened was he got found guilty of misdemeanor counts of failure to file the complete set of returns, even though he had overpaid his taxes. Now, where this comes in to where we are right now is, where do we get into this big thing about assessing the value of the situation? Where do we get into this kind of thing about the jury tampering bit? The judge was livid. He started issuing all of these show cause why you should not be held in contempt, because all of these jurors didn't show up on the reset date when he told everybody to go home. You'll get a notice from the clerk when you're supposed to come back to court because we've got motions to deal with. So he was presented with all of these petitions to show cause why somebody should not be held in contempt for not coming back on the date. So when he started bringing them in, he noticed every single one of the people involved was black. And then every single one of them had been given the wrong date by the clerk's office, which we discovered was because the U.S. Attorney's Office had instructed the clerk to give this particular date for this identifiable slate of prospective jurors. So what happened is Wesley Snipes got tried by an all-white jury. And the reason that was because all of the blacks had been intentionally diverted to the wrong comeback date by the actions of the prosecution. So I'm saying it happens.
Well, right. So I want to move away from Trump and Fani, and I want to go to California real quick, because I said at the beginning of the space, we're going to do the X space tomorrow, right? I don't want to stay too much on this because I want to get to the OMB and then the White
You're
House.
talking about that lady from California, aren't you?
Yeah. So tomorrow on
listening in.
X space, tomorrow in the X space, we're going to go in more details about reparations, particularly the task force in California. I have a problem with, and I was championing the California task force for a very long time. And the Camilla Moore, don't like her. Don't like
What
her.
is it
Don't
you
like,
didn't like about
I
she
don't
was
know
doing?
her. Wait. I don't know her. I just don't like her disposition. And what came out of that, because they have LGBTQ.
Yeah, they want LGBTQ as an ethnic group to be considered. How in the hell does that
No,
become?
not to be. No. They're just saying in the task force reparations study, they are including black LGBTQ. And it's
Yeah,
like,
but to me, it's like we have in law the duck rule. If it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, floats like a duck, it's a duck. So when you start putting that in, the language may sound what it is, but she's trying to effectively get sexual preference or choice to be treated as though it is an ethnicity matter. That's what it amounts to. The duck rule. I don't care what the hell you call it. That's what it amounts to. So why should they be entitled to reparations when the people you're seeking, their reparations would be based on mistreatment as a result of inexorably, and then conditions impossible to change. See, you look at somebody that's black. All right. You look at somebody's birth status. That's black. You look at somebody's status. Their mama was a slave that was non-emancipated. Therefore, they are a slave.
Mhm.
Their status as a slave makes them a domestic animal. You know, we've got apes out of Africa that are chimps, gorillas, and Negroes, and they're part of that domestic animal stuff, and they get treated that way. Somebody making a choice is ridiculous, and you can't tell them it's like a choice, not a choice, because uh, the rule. Does everybody that way rape everybody they deal with sexually? Well, no, they have to get permission and it's supposed to be consensual. So if it's consensual, that's an option to refuse or not refuse an offer, an option to accept the offer or to reject the offer. So if there's an option in there that requires volitional exercise, then it is not a compulsion. It is something that can be resisted. In other words, that would be a defense to that R word thing. I just felt compelled. I couldn't resist it. Well, you're still going to get 25 years in the state penitentiary. Don't care whether you couldn't resist it or not. It was wrong. So
well, I don't want to go far into.
I won't go too far. I
We're
just
going to talk about it.
Ridiculous.
We're going to talk about it on the X space tomorrow. So follow the judge on Twitter at Judge Joe Brown TV. And I'm also on X, and follow me on X at The Real Dana number 7.
By the way, you sounded a better lawyer than she did.
Yeah, of course. Listen, honey, people with titles go to their head. Go to their head.
Did you ever find out where she went to law school?
No.
I was hoping you would ask her.
You know what? Actually, we did a Twitter space sometime last year, maybe around this time, right? Talking about reparations. And she came up and spoke to you and she was talking to you about the California. All that LGBT, that was even a thought. Because that was before the report was finished and came out. So it's funny though, because before the final report was finished, and you going on this California reparations, tour or whatever to get people involved and so to support it, you didn't bring up the Black LGBTQ. You didn't bring that into the equation. You wait until the study is done and say, well, I make no apologies because they deserve to be in there as well. No, they don't.
What the hell did they do? What are they in there for? They like, that's like saying we have to include these people because they like to do reverse cowgirl on top, or they like to do it doggy style. So because they do it doggy style, we have to include them in reparations. Whoa.
They already got their reparation.
Yeah, they did. Interesting thing. Congressman Steve Cohen from Memphis, is 9th congressional district for the state of Tennessee. It's one of the largest majority Black congressional districts in America, and he's gay, white, and Jewish, and he is, guess what, a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. And guess what, though, since I've been bringing it out and we've talked about it, they've tried to conceal it, but he is in fact the chairman of the Reparations Committee for the Congressional Black Caucus, a gay white Jew. He also holds that position, or at least held it, for the Liberty Coalition, which is the LGBTQIA congressional caucus. And after 5 years ago, after all of that BS, where they went through 2 weeks of circus on whether or not they should have a study as to whether or not reparations would be appropriate, Congress considered a bill that was insultingly styled the Gay Reparations Act. Just 2 weeks later, it passed on the first voice vote without debate, after they had that circus on whether or not to. Yeah, I see where she went, Howard University and then Emory. Okay, well, I went to UCLA back when they didn't have affirmative action, so I got that beat by a long shot. No, not insulting Howard. My father went to Howard as an
Yeah,
undergrad.
but Howard's a little bit different when your father went compared to now.
Yeah, it was. That was 1946, 47.
But she graduated in 96, so maybe 96 was better than it is now. But
Yeah,
we're
really?
I don't
That
know.
was when they had gone through this damn fool thing where the dean of the law school was married to somebody that had gone through law school and was going through medical school at Howard. And the dean of the medical school was married to somebody that had gone through the medical school at Howard and was now going through the law school at Howard. So each of them was trying to flunk the other one's spouse out, get the other one's spouse flunked out so that that particular family could claim to be the first to send somebody through law school and medical school at Howard. And that was way back in 1972, 73, 74.
Right. Well, speaking of HBCU, because like I said, guys, join us tomorrow on X Space. Join us tomorrow on X Space because we're going to go into more details about the whole talk of reparations, right? However, speaking of HBCU, so Roland Martin, honey, he did a town hall down at Tennessee TSU today. I saw it on his YouTube. And they're upset. So Tennessee lawmakers dismantled HBCU's board of trustees to the dismay.
University.
Yeah, Tennessee State University, to the dismay of students and alumni. A 2023 audit of the school showed a mishandling of finances.
Yeah, it's happening all over.
Let me finish. But not fraud. Federal officials previously noted a $2.1 billion underfunding of the university over the past 30 years.
It's because they don't know what to do with the money. Now, you want to hear what the punchline is? We're popping fresh doughboy with chocolate chips missed out on. One of the objections that the legislative body has now is the requirement that all of the new members for the board of trustees have to have been, guess what?
Black.
Alumni of Tennessee State University. So where is the discrimination based on the topic that Pillsbury Doughboy always gets involved in?
Right. So Black lawmakers, students, and alumni of Tennessee State University are outraged that Governor Bill Lee is in an unprecedented move, signed into law legislation that dismantled the storied historical Black college's board of trustees. Calls for a new board began in 2023 after multiple audit reports highlighted concerns around the mishandling of finances, housing, and scholarships. A bill was then crafted that will replace 3 board members before being amended to remove all of them.
That's a good move. That is a good move. Clean.
So what is the big deal? Because
why is somebody objecting to this? We've got a historical Black college and university around here. They had to fire the president, chairman of the board of trustees or something like that. All of these officers for malfeasance. All right. I have a friend who gets hired to come in and take care of setting the finances in order for historical Black colleges and universities, and she has to watch out because they try to bring her in to scapegoat her so they can assign the responsibility for the debacle to somebody outside of themselves. This is becoming a common problem. The coach that everybody was getting into for going to Colorado State and Denver and leaving the HBCU behind made a statement, if I'm not mistaken. He was not going to get scapegoated and caught up in the corruption. He was gone. See, this is going on. We get an opportunity to be in charge of a city, a county, a court system, a prosecutorial system, a hospital board, a college, and we screw up because we get to trying to steal and do other stuff without dealing with our mandate to represent the public or the institution itself. So whose fault is that?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Before I get to the next topic, because I want to get into the Biden and the next topic, I want to go to some of the super chats. It says, would you consider 620K soldiers dying in Civil War reparations? Every family in South lost loved ones for what they did in North, also paid in blood.
I wouldn't even consider it a matter that dealt with reparations. It was the preservation of a nation. To understand what was going on, contemplate the Euro Union. You've got France, Germany, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Norway, Denmark, Belgium, Holland. You've got all of these countries in there, and it is the Euro Union. So all of these countries are nations. They are states. We think of the United States in a peculiar way without understanding that each of these original 13 colonies that became states were in fact separate nations. So they joined up in what could have been termed the United Nations of America. They said United States of America, but nation and state mean the same thing precisely. So what happens is we've got a union of people like the Euro Union. We had a civil war, started 1861, ended in 1865, 1866, depending upon when some of the skirmishes died down. And after the Civil War, the language is the United States is of the opinion. The United States is engaged in. Before the Civil War, the correct terminology was the United States are of the opinion. The United States are pursuing a policy. In other words, it was a plurality. After the Civil War, it became a singularity. So what the lady is talking about right here, the death toll in the Civil War exceeds the combined total of the Revolutionary War, War of 1812, Mexican-American War, Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and everything that's happened since. The death toll was almost twice what has occurred in all of the rest of them. So when you have a population in the United States of 45 million people, not 360 million or 180 million as it was during the NOM, you can see what you have in terms of the sacrifice. Now, that is to an extent, yes, reparations to anybody because, hey, what was the whole thing about? It was about ending slavery and incorporating everybody into a unitary situation so that the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights became something to strive for, even if not the actual practice, which finally got straightened out.
All right, I want to move on to another.
So I'm just saying, yeah, it is in one sense, but it's not necessarily what we're talking about because
right.
You see, reparations are restorative, and I'm not talking about the merits of it one way or the other, but there are national interests, and then there are interests of the people that are in there. The nation is like the body politic. Think of it as an organic organism. And you can have skin cells that are out in the sunlight, nice, and they feel the breezes or the chill and the cold. You have the cells that operate so you can see, smell, taste, and all this other stuff. And in the same body, you have the cells that have to be right next to the shit as it passes through the bowels. So when you talk about the entire body politic, some people get put in the position of being the cells in the bowels next to the shit rather than in the glamorous position outside with the sunlight and the breezes and all of the nice stuff we appreciate when we walk through a park or something, or to go to the beach. But things have to be resolved so we don't have too many next to the shit.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Don. He says, Don65, he says, hi, Judge. I'm a former cop who went to law school. I will be graduating in May, and after the bar exam, I will be working as a prosecutor. Any tips on how to have a successful career as an attorney?
Yes. See that you can get assigned all of the trials you can get. Don't look at them as winning. Don't look at them as something to win. Look at them as something to bestow justice, because as a prosecutor, your job is to represent the people and justice. And sometimes the most important thing you can do, and I've been a prosecutor, is, Your Honor, in the interest of justice, the people recommend that these charges be dismissed. That's in the interest of justice. Get all of the trial work you can, because the more trials you have, the more what you learn from the books translates into a real world. If I might, imagine being referred to a doctor's office, seeing all of his degrees, going in there to be treated, and then discovering that the doctor has never done an internship nor a residency in a hospital. In other words, he's a rookie. So you get an one up on everybody else who wants to rush into corporate law, where in 10, 15 years, they may or may not have ever tried a case. And if you don't understand that it's about humanity and dealing with the ins and outs, ups and downs, competence and incompetence of live human beings and what you do, you won't get it. But if you get the trial experience, the more you get, the more it translates into real world rather than theoretical. You can also get that with the public defender's office. So get as much trial work as you can. Open your eyes and realize that you went to law school to understand what matters need to be resolved in a situation in order to solve the problem that is presented. It's not so much the answer, it's the ability to determine what's going wrong. Now, once you do that, develop the expertise in being able to acquire the information necessary to fully understand the problem and resolve it.
All right, thank you. I put a poll for questions. I mean, to open up the phone lines. I don't know if I'm in the mood to do it tonight. It says 60%, because I said, should I open the phone lines? Yes or no, and wait until Thursday. 59% said yes, 40% said no, wait until Thursday. It's a little under 200 votes. So I don't know yet. It just depends. You need to be short with these response to these super chats, because you're a little bit long-winded tonight with them.
Well, I mean, there's some pretty good questions so far. I am tired of being used for bad behavior.
Still got to get to the main topic, and I want to keep this in 2 hours.
I have a quick answer to that. Look at Fani.
But let me read it first. Let me read it. Jerry, thank you. Jerry Sparks. I am tired of the race car used for bad behavior. Yes.
Me too. And you see an example with Fani Willis.
Yes. Rachel, again, everyone is a descendant of slavery. Should some descendants pay other descendants? Yes, they should. When country lost 600K men in Civil War, was that reparations? Okay, that was you.
I was responding to that. Looked at your question. Let me say this. The person Miss Dana is talking about out in California is talking about paying for it. I haven't lived into California in over 10 years. And every single tax year, I have to pay a lot of money out of pocket to lawyers, because California seizes money from banks that have branches that I bank with. Banks that I bank with have branches out there, and they seize the money. We get it back, but it costs me a lot of money to get it back. They get to earn interest on it. And who do you think is going to be paying reparations for somebody? Everybody. See, so in other words, it's kind of ludicrous in one sense, because the folk that are talking about they want reparations also will be paying for those reparations, because nobody said anything about tax exemption. So if
All
you pay
right, save it
share
for
tax,
the X space. Thank you.
you know, where are
Plant
you going?
Paradise, your time and expertise is appreciated. Dana and Judge, will you break down how Attorney Steele ended the YSL trial regarding DA Love swearing in a witness? I haven't. Okay, so how about Plant Paradise? Send me an email with the link. Dana with the data at gmail.com. My email address is on this going across the screen here. So, and I'll look into that. So I don't know. We don't, I haven't keeping up with what happened today. Thank you again, Rachel. Thanks for answering the Civil War reparation question. Yeah, thank you guys. Please hit the like button, thumbs up. I don't think I'm not going to open up the phone lines today. It's April Fool's Day, and speaking of April Fool's Day,
Why'd you remind some people of that? They'll be sure to be the April 1st fool.
so yesterday was Easter. And President Biden, he released a statement. He said, today on Transgender Day of Visibility, I have a simple message to all trans Americans. I see you. You are made in the image of God, and you're worthy of respect and dignity. Transgender Day of Visibility, right?
Wait a minute. How you going to have them visible? Aren't they masters of faking it? They got dicks, but they wanted you to think they got twats. So they got twats, and they want you to think they got dicks. So how are you supposed to recognize one? And for goodness sakes, I think that should cost him the election. I mean, I don't care whether you're Jewish, Christian, Islamic, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic. You should think that somebody should be ashamed of themselves for trying to co-opt somebody's holy day by switching it over to a bunch of deviants who are trying to screw up the whole paradigm that Mother Nature spent a few billion years setting up about men attracting female women and women attracting men, or male female attraction to birds and bees and all that other stuff, and somebody's trying to screw it up. So you want to pick somebody's holiest, one of their holiest days, and a day of a miracle, if that's your religion, and you want to pick that and throw it in that tranny appreciation day. What in the hell is wrong with you? Do you have any sense?
So apparently they issued March 31st as Transgender Visibility Day 2 years ago. And I wanted to share a clip of the White House correspondence because, you know, Corinne Pierre Stephens, I think that's her name. She got a lot of backlash because of it. Well, they were questioning her.
Can I read it?
Wait a minute. One second.
Are you looking?
Yeah. You need me to make it bigger?
No, I've got it right here. Now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2024 as Transgender Day of Visibility. I call upon all Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and voices of transgender people throughout our nation, and to work toward eliminating violence and discrimination based on gender identity. In witness whereof I have hereunder set my hand this 29th day of March in the year of our Lord, 2024, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 248th year. Now, that's what he signs as the executive order. So he puts in year of our Lord, and you put that in, and the Lord you're talking about, you just co-opted his day of resurrection, and you put in transgender day of visibility. How the hell are they going to be visible? What are they supposed to be? If they're trannies, they're trying to look like something else.
So let me play this clip here.
Thank you. So the criticism over the Transgender Day of Visibility, the White House said that the president wouldn't abuse his faith for political purposes. Does the president think that's what Republicans are doing?
I mean, look, just a couple of things, and really so surprised by the misinformation that's been out there around this. And I want to be very clear. Every year for the past several years, on March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility is marked. And as we know, for folks who understand the calendar and how it works, Easter falls on different Sundays, right? Every year. And this year it happened to coincide with Transgender Visibility Day. And so that is the simple fact. That is what has happened. That is where we are. And I do want to say a couple of things because I think it's important here. As you just stated in your questions, what we've been hearing out there, a lot of misinformation done on purpose. And as a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American. Now, sadly, and it's not surprising, right? It is actually unsurprising that politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. It is dishonest what we have heard the past 24 hours. It is untrue what we heard over the weekend. And, you know, we were at first, want to be very clear, confused on their coverage. We're grateful that Fox agrees with President Biden about the importance of recognizing Trans Day of Visibility. And I'll just quote something that Fox said back in 2021. They tweeted this: Trans Day of Visibility is dedicated to celebrating transgender people. To all the transgender men, women, and non-binary folk, we see you and stand with you. President Biden will never abuse his faith or for political purposes or for profit. That is not what this administration is about. That is not what being a leader is about. And this misinformation out there is it's bad. And it is dividing, it is caused to divide us. And I want to say one more quote. This is what Politico covered every year. And I said this at the top of my answer: Transgender Day of Visibility is on March 31st. This year, March 31st just so happens to be also Easter, the date of which changes every year. That's how I started out, and that's how I end.
I call bullshit. It's called res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself. If that is the case, the premises advanced by Missy here would require no new executive order. However, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 29th day of March in the year of our Lord 2024. That means last week he signed an executive order declaring March 31st this year to be Transgender Visibility. It's bullshit, her contention, because if it was just fell on the day, do you need an executive order to declare Martin Luther King's birthday is going to be celebrated this year? No, because it's set. Do you need one to show that the 4th of July is going to occur this year? No, it's been set. Do you need one to say that President's Day is going to be on this year? No, it's been set. So the bottom line is if the goddamn thing was set for the 31st of March, you wouldn't need an executive order signed on the 29th day of March, 2 days before, to declare a date that was already set as Transgender Visibility Day. And how the hell are you going to find them visible when they're faking? Remember, they're trying to look like girls, but they got dicks and they're boys, or they got twats and they're trying to look like boys and they're girls. So what the hell is the visibility? I'm a freak. I've been masquerading as something I'm not. No, see, this is complete bullshit. And then we also have an ancillary story. In the last 70 plus years, this person, this clown we have, this jackass in the blue oval, in the office, Oval Office, has been to church more than any president in the United States in the last 70 years. He's like typical ones who are that way. They know they're going to hell because they've been doing wrong, so they're trying to get forgiveness by attending church. Hell, just act right.
Great point. And with that
is some bullshit.
And with
I understand that was such a relief. Oh yes, I can smile after that. And I could even act irate, you know. Damn.
And that is the show tonight, guys. Let me get to a couple of last of the super chats here. Boosted 5.0. It's an attack on Christian religion in this country. Every day, indirectly, directly, this administration mocks Christians. I'm sure they knew it. I'm sure they knew it will fall on today. Can't be this incompetent. Yeah. They knew this 2 years ago when they made the 31st, which is the last day of Women's History Month. They knew it 2 years ago that was going to fall on Easter and that was going to be a problem. So,
excuse me, how about this one? 29th, 30th, 31st. So you mean to tell me you such a dumb jackass that 2 days before the event, you don't know when it's going to land? Why in the hell do you issue the damn order? And then, did you see what they did to the seal for the president's office?
what, with
Did
the
you
bunny?
see what they did?
The-
They added the note to show you they knew what the impact was. Look at it. What is this? They modified the seal. What are you looking at?
Oh yeah, let me show that here.
Yeah.
A minute.
You're showing
Yeah, the bunny.
You're showing the damn bunny. Look at that.
Oh wait.
A bunny with some Easter eggs. You jackass, you knew what damn day it was, and you went and messed it up for a whole lot of your citizens in the country you're supposed to be representing.
And then the Easter egg hunt was today. They did not allow the religious Easter egg. Why not? It's a Christian religion.
But God damn it, they got a rainbow flag sitting up on the damn White House when they wouldn't even let their own religion, the cross, that the day they co-opted. They couldn't put that on an egg, but they can put a rainbow for that secular religion that they're trying to cram down everybody's throat. You can't have a nativity scene in City Hall, but you can have a rainbow. You can't put a crescent and a star for Islam flying under the American flag from a government building, but you can put the rainbow. You can't put the six-pointed Jewish star under the American flag on a government building, but you can put the rainbow. You can't put the six-armed Hindu chief god on a flag under the damn U.S. flag on a government building, but you'll find a rainbow flag in D.C. and the same thing you do when you get an image of Buddha. You can't do any of that, but you can put that rainbow. The White House is decorated in rainbow colors. You go through Washington, D.C., they have government employees painting a damn rainbow down the sidewalk and the crosswalks. And you're looking at a government building with a rainbow banner hung down for 11 floors. What the hell are you doing here?
Right.
And wait a minute, you know what they're doing with this grooming? It's not just about sexuality. Your mama took you to church, mosque, temple, synagogue. You don't go on Sunday or Saturday or whenever your holy day is. You can't go anywhere else in the week. Now, they're taking these kids from preschool all the way to 12th grade in 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, during the most impressionable times of their life. They are indoctrinating them in this bullshit. The equivalent of, do you like to do reverse cowgirl on top, or do you like to do it doggy style? Do you like to, I don't call it sex, because sex leads to reproduction. I call it mutual masturbation, because it ain't even foreplay to sexual activity, not even theoretically. It's just you getting somebody off and shooting some sperm somewhere that it doesn't need to be, or you playing around, you're not even going that way, you just want to get your rocks off. So because somebody's getting their rocks off or getting all hot, wet, and bothered, that's supposed to be something that you get to groom these kids on, and self-hate that you don't like what the hell you are, so you want to be something else. I think that's sick. And that, by the way, the rest of the world is saying the United States has gone too far in, because
let me read this. Thank you, Nikki. Says Biden called the costume Easter bunnies oyster bunnies instead of using the word Easter. Why?
Ain't this the one, the Catholic who likes to go to church so much and mass?
Why would he do that?
Because he's a hypocrite and he's trying to sit there and groom the country to accept his new religion.
Well, all right. So listen.
By the way, if you don't understand that, one last thing. Buddhism is an ancient and honorable religion, but if you examine it, there's one interesting aspect. It's a religion that does not have a Godhead.
Right.
So just like that, so is LGBTQIA. It's a system of philosophy and it doesn't have a God. It's a secular religion in that sense. But to all intents and purposes, it is a system of philosophy that dictates behavior and belief. And we are supposed to submit to getting it crammed down our throat. We can't say certain things on this venue because it's YouTube. And we keep getting cut off, shadow blocked, and everything else because we are exercising our First Amendment rights to speak out against something.
I can't hear you now. I can't hear you. Can't hear. Dropped out. Go out and come back in. Just go out and come back in. So listen, it's one more thing I kind of want to bring up. I just want to have him quickly comment on it. But, you know, Mondays is Mondays. Listen, it's the day after Easter, so people are still on vacation. It's April Fool's Day, and then it's Monday. You know, Monday is usually slow with the viewership. Thursdays is usually hot. So Thursday, I will open up the phone lines. I will open up the phone lines on Thursday, guys. However, the phone line, the call-ins, I edited that out from last week's show. So you could go to the website, therealdananetwork.com, which is right down here, and you can listen and watch and see the call-in portion from last week's show on the website, right? And it's free. And I want you to sign up to the mailing list on the website. So one more thing I just want to share. I want to bring up Judge real quick. The border, right? Because I got to start doing more content on the border. So this came in today. No, actually yesterday. It says, wait, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay, good. It says El Paso judge rules on Easter Sunday that illegals involved in a riot at the southern border where the National Guard troops were assaulted must be released from jail. Magistrate Judge
Wait a minute. Wait. Time out. All of those American citizens that didn't have an active fight with somebody on January 6th had what can be classified as about 180 of them committing misdemeanor trespass for the most part. They're held in, put in jail for years. And these clowns do this and they're crashing the border feloniously and they get let go?
Yeah.
So, oh, hell, somebody's way out of line.
So it says Magistrate Judge Humberto Acosta made the announcement on Sunday, blasting the El Paso District Attorney's Office for not being ready with detention hearings. It is a ruling of the court is that all the rioting participation cases will be released on their own recognizance.
God damn, release on your own recognizance by long definition means you have an adequate connection with your community, along with a demonstration of good character that will indicate that surely you will return until the proceedings are completed. These people have no connection with this country. They crashed the border. They are criminals who broke our law to get in here. They are trespassers. So they can always go back home and we don't have any border restrictions going back the other way. So you release them on their own recognizance. What kind of dumbass shit is that? And I've been a damn judge. And I wasn't just a TV judge. I was an authorized arbitrator according to the California Supreme Court for 15 years. That's what we did on the show. And before that, I had been a criminal court judge, elected more than once. And before that, I ran the public defender's office in private practice, prosecutor, dealt with poverty law, equal employment opportunity. I did all kinds of stuff. And this is obscene.
Listen, can you guys please hit that like button? I want to get to 1,000 likes before we say goodbye. And we're about to say goodbye. And I'm 10 likes away to 1,000 likes. So viewership is very low.
Hit the damn button.
Yeah, hit the damn button. Exactly. Hit the damn button.
I say, it would be most marvelous if you would simply press that button and express a like. Think of it.
Yeah, and thank you, Southern Belle. She's a great moderator. Yes, get the likes up, everybody, in the love room. Hit the like button. So, like I said, tomorrow, okay, we over 1,000. Thank you, guys. See, was that so hard?
This will drive it over. I had purple Jello and it quivered when I stuck my fork in it.
How cute. Yeah, no, they didn't break the law. If they should have just got trespassing or something. But
these clowns get ROR'd. And how the hell are you going to track them down? What is your address? What's your residence? I don't have one. I crashed the border. I don't live here.
Right.
I'm trying to go free.
People homes.
Yeah.
So listen, tomorrow we will be on X. Now, I don't know what time. It'll be after 5? Like probably 7 Eastern time or something like that. Yeah, because we're not starting late. So it has to be like at least 6 or 7 Eastern time. But follow the judge on X at Judge Joe Brown TV. And I'm on X at The Real Dana 7. It's been scrolling across the screen all night. And also, most importantly, guys, what do we have here?
Barbecue.
Yep. Judge Joe Brown barbecue sauce. Now, you could go to the website, jjbbbq.com, or go to Amazon and purchase right off Amazon. It is delicious, original, spicy, and you got the chicken flavor. So go and purchase you some Judge Joe Brown barbecue sauce on Amazon or straight from the website.
We have chicken links, beef links, and Beyond Meat links. We have smoked, raw, mild, and spicy. We have the seasoning powder that way and the sauce that way. And we're expanding.
Yes. So we will not physically see you, but we will see you guys tomorrow on the X Space. We are back here live on Thursday. I may do a live by myself on Wednesday. Not sure yet. I have to prepare. But the Man Up Show will be back on Thursday.
We shall chat tomorrow, Do tune in and we will have a good time. And we might not have a fireplace handy. It's a be roaring with flames and all of that, but you can turn the air conditioning up if the weather's that way. And if not, your thermostat will probably let you heat up the room you find yourself in. Put a blanket over your shoulders or something, Enjoy, indulge, and we'll be there.
All right, guys. Good night. Oh, and thank you to Mr. Starr for coming on and sharing his story about the Fulton County Jail and his experience. And I hope everything works out on his behalf. So thank you, everybody. First of all, that sent in a donation. Love you most of all the listeners, my moderators, Southern Belle, and everyone out there watching. See you guys on Thursday.
Ciao.